Yeah. Yes. Hi. Happy Wednesday. We're back, and we're talking about pirates. Hell yeah. 'Cause why not? Aaron, they can't.
Aaron can't wait. Aaron can't hear us. Oh no. Oh noes. Well, we're gonna. No one can hear this. This is me saying that we're having.
Oh, Aaron's on it. Aaron's
I
on
was
it. He
gonna
hears
try
us.
and.
He hears our
Oh,
pleas.
thank you, my love.
So we'll just.
We'll find out shortly.
Oh, hey, they hear us now. Oh, hey.
Cool.
What's up?
Hey. Well, golly gee, we're back here after a quick technical difficulty. Thank you, Aaron, for fixing it. You're the best. I will once again say welcome to Heroes You Should Know, which is a double nerd show where we talk about historical figures that you should know but you don't for a plethora of reasons, and then we turn them into D&D characters because why wouldn't we?
Yes.
And as I said, and as you can see, Eli's here with me this week.
Hello.
And as we did say before, but no one heard,
We're talking about pirates.
yes, because Eli means pirates.
Yes. That's like the equal plus, when you do the math, it always comes out as pirates. It's fine.
Pirates.
Exactly.
I gotta find more pirates. Gotta find different pirates.
We'll find them, by God. They're all over the world.
I know there's at least another we'll talk about the woman we're talking about right now because she is a Moroccan pirate queen named Sayyida al-Hurra. She was the last queen in the history of Islam who ruled independently. She's super cool. She's super badass. Let's just go. Let's just talk about her.
Dive in. Let's take no time. Let's do this.
So Sayyida al-Hurra is actually a title which loosely translates to independent noble lady. There's another chunk of her title that means governor of. Oh, how do I say this word? Oh my God, where is it? Tetuan? No. Yeah, Tetuan. Which is in Morocco, but we'll get to that. We'll get there. We're jumping the gun a little bit. But she was born Lala, which is lady in Morocco, Aisha bint Ali ibn Rashid al-Alami in 1485 in Granada, Spain. So, for historical context, at this time, the Ottomans had just taken Constantinople in 1453, which is basically like the hard end of the Roman Empire. Get wrecked. And the Ottomans are like reaching their peak expansion. But when they something they did when they took Constantinople was they allowed the Eastern Orthodox Church, the Christians, to maintain their autonomy. And like land and their religious practices in exchange for accepting that the Ottomans were in charge now. So the Ottoman were an Islamic empire. And once again, we see that like, if you let people maintain their way of life and their religion and you don't force them to assimilate, it's pretty peaceable. It's pretty nice. People get along. And this was super rare at this time, especially between the three major religions, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, especially at this time. So it's super cool that the Ottomans are like, hey, we'll let you chill if you just say that we're in charge. And the folks of Istanbul, Constantinople, as the song goes, we're like, hey, yeah, all right. So that's neat. Just some food for thought. We don't need imperialism, but if you gotta do imperialism, maybe don't suck.
Mm-hmm.
Also of note, the Spanish Inquisition was established a few years before Aisha's birth in 1478 by everyone's, or at least my least favorite monarchs, King Ferdinand II of Aragon and Queen Isabella of Castile, who are responsible for sponsoring that dickhead Columbus, who we all fucking hate. So so I don't like them. Surprise.
The worst.
So they've started pushing all the Muslims out of the Iberian Peninsula at large. They're in a full rampage, driving everyone out and converting them. And this is also the unification of Spain as we know it today, because Spain was split up into a bunch of like areas like Andalusia, and I can't remember any of the other ones because Andalusia is the only one we talk about here. But this is like this marriage and the beginning of the Spanish Inquisition were what kind of brought Spain as a country into unification. And then also at this time, the Portuguese had started their colonial conquest in 1415. So it's a campaign that stretches across from like the eastern shores of South America. Hint, hint, the reason that Portuguese is spoken in Brazil. This is where that begins. Around both southeastern and southwestern coasts of Africa, and even over to like multiple ports in Eastern Asia, islands in the South Pacific. This is actually one of the longest lived empires in European history. It's literally until 1999 that they transfer sovereignty of Macau back to the people of China, which is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we all know colonialism still exists, and like imperialism is very real and very present and continues to affect people to this day. But like seeing it continue to be written out, like, hey, remember this thing that happened in 1415? Cool. Great.
Great.
We're gonna be a little bit bitter this episode. That's fine.
Just a smidge. It's fine. It's a taste.
Hawaii, Puerto Rico.
It's fine. It's fine.
Anyway, so it's 1485. Aisha is 2 years old. Portuguese seizes several ports on the western coast of Morocco, because they are very afraid. They like want to have control of the Mediterranean. They're very afraid of like the power that Morocco is going to have, especially in the Strait of Gibraltar. It's a whole thing. And then a few years later, in 1492, an accursed year, Granada, Spain, is taken by Isabella and Ferdinand, and the Muslim folks were forced to convert or flee, and Sayyida and her family, or Aisha at this time, were among them. So her family, the Rashids, were pretty prominent, a Muslim family of Andalusian nobles. On her father's side, they have a pretty direct line of descendancy. Is that the word? That's the word. From the Prophet Muhammad. And her mother is an Andalusian-born Christian who converted to Islam and married her father, which I think is super interesting. So they settle in Chefchaouen. I listened to it being said, and I still don't know if I said it right. I'm very sorry. Chefchaouen, which is just inland of Tetuan, which will be very important shortly. And her childhood is actually pretty privileged. They had to flee, but she's still a noble, and they've still got money. She gets a first-class education and becomes fluent in multiple languages, including Castilian Spanish, which is the Spanish where you hear like the Z's and the C's become THs instead of making the S sound, as well as Portuguese. She also studied theology and mathematics. She's like smart. Her family is making sure she's educated. Like this is pretty fucking great especially for like the 1400s.
Yeah, for like the time period, the place in the world and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's really incredible. Like this is how she's like she's treated as an equal essentially to her brother. So she gets to 16 and she marries. Okay, so she either marries a man that's 30 years her senior, a friend of her father's, the governor of Tetuan, and a fellow Andalusian refugee, and within the Almandri family, a man who she was promised to as a child, but or she was married to his son, Almandri II, younger, but I think most people agree that it was the former. There's just like a little bit of name questioning of like who was it. But Even with like a massive age gap, there still did seem to be maybe not affection, but like a genuine respect between the two of them. And she like helped rule at his side, which also very cool, especially that he's like significantly older than her and like, hey, I see your brain is good. We should work together.
Yeah.
So cool. Anyway, so she's got hell education. She's married to the governor of this port city. So it's just south of the Strait of Gibraltar, which is where the Iberian Peninsula, Portugal and Spain, and then the tip of Africa, Morocco. This little spot's the Strait of Gibraltar, which is like how people pass through and from the Atlantic Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. So the site of the city dates back to like the Berbers in the 3rd century BCE. But Aisha and her husband basically have to build it from the ground up again because it's in ruins. Because in the early 1400s, the Castilians and the Portuguese destroyed it because they knew it was like a really solid stronghold. It was a really important position in the Mediterranean, especially as a port city. It was like it was dangerous for anyone else to have it. So they were like, fuck it, we're going to get rid of it. So one of the leaders in Morocco was like, hey, you're governor of this place now, go fix it up. And they do. As I said, she's super involved with her husband's business affairs and with like running this city. And she's basically de facto vice governor. Her husband would like leave and then be like, hey, you're in charge. You know what to do. And she's like, yeah, I do. And she'd just take care of the city while he was away.
Bossing it.
Yeah. Like that's insane that they were that.
Very progressive, especially for the time.
That's what
it's like the one, like the little sand of just
you can
progress.
Have some goodness. Here you go.
the 4 steps. The future.
So people got super used to her being in charge. And when her husband dies in 1515, they're basically like, yeah, but like you can just keep going. Like there's no reason for us to change. Like this works. We shouldn't change what's working.
Broken, don't fix it.
It's not broke, don't fix it. And so this gives her the title of al-Hurra, which means like she's in charge. And it's often like al-Hurra is often a title that's used to refer to a woman exercising some kind of public power. So that's super neat.
Yeah.
And during her reign, Tetuan reaches like an almost unheard of level of prosperity, especially for a city that had until recently been basically ruins. Hint, hint, it's fucking up the Reconquista and doing pirate shit. It's good for the economy. Ooh. Are we fucking up the colonists? Yes. Let's go. Anyway, so it's believed that her like incredible acceptance by the people is due to the fact that she's an Andalusian woman in a place of power over a significant Andalusian population. So like they were like a lot of people who lived here were forced to leave Andalusia during the Spanish Inquisition. and so they were like, yeah, we want to see a person who like is familiar to us in charge. They're seeing like the power of the monarch passing to a woman as it had done with Isabella, so that wasn't super surprising to them. And others say it was just because she was the undisputed leader of the pirates in the Western Mediterranean. We're not talking about pirates yet, but we will soon, don't worry.
It's coming.
We're doing this a little bit different. I'm getting all her like cool life stuff out of the way, and then we're gonna go to pirate times. Anyway, so it's 1541 now. She is married, and she remarries Ahmed al-Watasi, who is a sultan of the Moroccan Wattasid dynasty. So he travels from Fez to Tetuan to marry her, and this is fucking wild because he is up, like he is right at the top. He is the guy. And he leaves the capital to marry this woman who's a governor, which is hilarious because this is the only time in Moroccan history that the Sultan was married outside of the capital. Like he was like, hey, let's get married. And she's like, sure, you have to come here though. And he's like, but I'm the Sultan. She's like, yeah, I'm the governor. I'm not giving up to be like, I'm not giving that up just to come marry you.
Yeah, it's like I got things to do, dude. Like,
So it's like this huge, cool power move, and it fucking pays off because it's like a promise to her people that she's not going to give up on them and on being a governor, just because she married a sultan, and like,
Yeah.
and that has to garner so much respect with the people of like, yeah, she's technically also
ride or die.
yes,
I'm
like she's
here for
technically
it.
full queen now, and she's like, nah, I'm staying here, bitch. So super cool. That's one of my favorite facts is that she's like, yeah, we can get married. You got to come here.
Yeah.
My small port city. Yeah, come here.
It'll be fun. Nice.
Yeah, super cool. So she appoints her brother, as vizier to her new husband, and that basically installs her family as like major players in the effort to unify Morocco against basically all of the Iberian Peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
So like she's pulling different parts of Morocco together. She's so cool. She's so fucking cool.
She's got like a to-do list, you know. I got a whole situation.
And like checking it off
on.
too. She's like,
yeah,
yep, done that. Yep, done that.
meeting my
Fuck up the
goals.
Portuguese, great. So now it's time for pirate shit. Woohoo!
Pirate time.
That was so cute. Oh my god, I love you. Okay, so technically, I think you would qualify what she does as privateering because she's pulling government-sanctioned piracy.
Privateering is just piracy with extra steps.
Yeah, but
it's
like,
fine.
but it's government sanctioned, so it's technically chill. And when you are the government, you can say, "Fuck you! I'm not a pirate. I'm a privateer." Also, Morocco didn't have like a full unified navy at this time and was basically relying on privateers and pirates to keep the shores safe. And they all basically reported to her. So
she just had an armada.
She was her own armada.
She calls it how she sees it.
Sure.
Privateering, piracy, what?
Yeah.
What
like,
are words?
I think the pirate part of it came from like the Portuguese and the Spanish trying to illegitimize what she was doing. And be like, no, she's a pirate. And like, no, technically she's not. You have a bunch of pirates under your like employ for sure. So it's a lot of semantics that I think are very interesting. Okay. So in my research, I didn't really find anything about exactly when she started privateering, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's before her first husband passes away. Given that people might have accepted her because of the fact that she was already a successful pirate leader, it just seemed like that was the timeline that fit. But I'm not entirely certain. Nothing really gave concrete dates about when she started. But what is interesting is that if she did start pirating before her first husband died, that would have put her at under 30 because she was 30 when her husband died. She was probably like anywhere from 16 to probably 27, if I'm guessing.
Jesus. It's great.
Just a cool fact. I don't have anything else to say about it. It's just neat.
Boss bitching from an early age. She's like the first influencer.
Pirate influencer, let's go. So basically, what started it, from what most historians can agree on, is that she never really got over the injustice of being forced out of Granada. Which who would? Why would you get over that?
You'll never forget it.
No, you're fucking 7 and you have to pick up your entire life because some assholes from the Catholic Church are saying, "Hey, fuck you, get out of here or change to us." And you're like, "No, I'm not gonna get over that. Hell no."
Yeah, exactly.
So she wants to avenge herself and her people on the folks that forced them out, and that came in the form of piracy, which is smart. I mean, all of the, like they can't launch an all-out attack on the Catholic Church because the Catholic Church is up and like marching through Spain, and that like they can't do that. Like they can't just gather people and go back into Spain and be like, "Hey, fuck you." But what they do have are smaller, faster ships in the Spanish Armada. And they're a port city, which is built to be a stronghold. So it's a lot of cool shit that all works together. It's a good way to protect her town and also get revenge.
Exactly.
Brilliant. So at some point she makes contact with the Ottoman admiral Hayrettin Barbosa. Yes, that Barbosa. And yes, also known as Redbeard. That's who she just casually meets up with. So remember how the Ottomans were also Muslim and also just took Constantinople on the other side of the Mediterranean? They basically have like, hey, you have that side, right? We're gonna take this side, and we can just keep things chill. And they were like, yeah, that's cool. Great. So piracy provides like quick income in the form of loot and ransom for captives, but it also keeps like the spirit alive of like one day maybe we'll get back, like we'll get to go back to Andalusia, maybe we'll like get to go home. So like it has like a double purpose. It's brilliant piracy. Also during this time, the Reconquista is doing its damnedest to expand control into Morocco and like maritime trade and like keep their thumb on that. And while Barbosa is like ferrying refugees from Spain to Africa and like fucking up the Eastern Mediterranean, she's full out terrorizing like the Portuguese ships in the Western Mediterranean. Like boarding, stealing loot, like taking captives. It's truly wild how much damage she does with like pretty minimal folks. Even like the like Christians had to respect her because she is basically the one who controls the Mediterranean, and she's the one they have to negotiate with if they want to get their captives back.
Yeah.
So like they can be pissy about it all they want, but they also have to like bow to it a little bit because if they want their people back alive, it's her.
Yeah.
One Portuguese. One Portuguese. It's been a long time. Need some water. Hang on. I figured out the best way to make myself want to hydrate is to just cover my water bottle in stickers of things that I love. So I just buried it. Anyway, not Portuguese, but a Portuguese diplomat once called her a very aggressive and bad-tempered woman about everything, which is like valid because she should be pissed off and aggressive, but also that's how you know you're getting shit done. Like if a dude is like, she has a bad attitude, like most of the time that means you're doing something right. Of course there are women who are not good people and who are going to be bad and blah blah blah, but like most of the time,
a lot of time. It's a specific type of wordage.
yeah. She's very aggressive and mean, bad-tempered. It's just like, man, she held her own against me and I didn't like it. So yeah, I thought that was funny. It's like, you know, she's doing something fucking right. Yes, ma'am. Unsurprisingly, they were fucking terrified of her, which is great. So Sayyida rules as queen for another 30 years until her son Muhammad al-Hassan al-Mandri overthrows her in October of 1542, which sucks, but here we are. She lives though. She survives. It's not like a violent coup. I think he just kind of like forces her out. He didn't have a big force, but he did have a force that came in and kind of pushed her out. She kind of gets stripped of all her power, and ultimately she just retires back to her childhood home in Chefchaouen, where she passes away in July of 1561. For those keeping track, that would make her 76 years old.
Yeah.
Which at the time, and the fact that she's a full-on pirate queen, is an incredibly long life.
Yeah, which makes me wonder, was it a coup or was it just a retirement party? You know?
Yeah, like I can't step down because like that's not my vibe, but I need you to come in.
Yeah, or Pissery kind of twisting it and saying that like instead of it was just a succession, it was a
grab of power.
Yeah.
Who's to say? But we can all agree, fucking queen. Reina, what's up? Like amazing. Super cool, super badass. I love Sayyida al-Hurra. This is why I love doing this show, is because I learn about people that there's no way I would have known about otherwise. And it's
Oh
crazy
yeah,
that I
hell
wouldn't have
yeah.
known about her otherwise, because she's fucking neat.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'll stop my nerding. Let's talk about our builds. Eli, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can totally go first. So here, let me, like a noob, I exited out of the tab. 1 second.
I'm gonna drink more water. I need to drink more water.
Stay hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
So
Everyone out there, take a sip with me. Have a sip of some
take
water.
a sip of water.
I'm in a weird mood today.
You listening at home on the VOD, wherever you're at, take a sip of water.
Hey, take a sip of water right fucking now. For the queen. Do it for the queen.
For the queen.
Aaron, you better have taken a sip of water too.
Wherever you are. Okay. So I decided not to use any of the pre-made like pirate stuff. No swashbuckler rogues, no pirate backgrounds, none of that stuff. Let's be creative here. So I decided to go with 6 levels of cleric and 4 levels of paladin. Yeah. And then I picked the paladin of the crown, oath of the crown, and then I did, oh fuck, what domain was it? Wow, what domain did I pick?
Domains.
Order domain. I picked the order domain cleric. Because I figured with the level of like studious education, her devotion to her city, her town, and putting use, being like a noble, I think a mixture of cleric and paladin seemed like a really nice combination of stuff. So what would you like me to else to tell you?
Let's see, what are the like how'd you stat her out? Let's go there first.
Okay, so I statted her out. I know I put intelligence low, but it's like an average. It should be a little bit higher, but I wanted to pad other parts of her stat. So I gave her, she's got a charisma of a high wisdom stat of 17, a charisma of 14, intelligence of 11, constitution of 14, dexterity of 10, and a strength of 12. So more leaning towards utilizing like her spells and her actions and kind of padding more of her abilities than anything else. So I won't tell you all of the ability sets, but I gave her proficiency in history, in insight, in performance, persuasion, religion, and survival.
Nice.
I gave her heavier armor. I gave her like chainmail armor, because I feel like if you're noble and rich, you can afford a little bit more than just the average just leather.
Sure.
And I think
there's no reason for stealth either for her to like
if you're on a boat, you necessarily need to be stealthy. And she wasn't known for, she seemed to be more about being like upfront about stuff than it was about like sleuthing around and trying to get your point. I gave her a rapier for weapons, as well as the warhammer that comes with being a cleric. So I started cleric first and then paladin second, because I feel like cleric fit in like bringing in her like knowledge base, the fact that she comes from a household that is multi-religious, because I imagine even though her mom might have converted to Islam for the sake of marriage, that she might still have some level of influence of her upbringing, regardless of,
I feel like it'd be hard to like stop if you like if you grew up a certain way and then you did convert, but like that has to still enter into your life.
Has to be some remnants of it. Plus, you know, mentioning that this was a part of that was taken over, but still allowed to maintain some level of original structure and religion. so would be a place that, multi-religion would kind of coexist. So I wanted to stat with Cleric on that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Um,
Are there any like subclass, like specialty, special moves? I can't remember what they're called right now.
Yes.
Sorry.
So she has a channel divinity champion challenge. So as a bonus action, each creature of your choice in 30 feet makes a wisdom saving throw, or can't be willingly moved more than 30 feet. Sorry, hold on. Take a step back. Must make a wisdom saving throw, or it can't willingly move more than 30 feet away from you. And the second divinity is Turn the Tide, and as a bonus action, each creature of your choice in 30 feet regains 1d6 plus 2 hit points if it has no more than half of its max HP. So a little support, a little padding.
Yeah.
Kind of like her shtick anyways. And then the other thing she gets, I think, with a paladin is the embodiment of law, which is you cast a spell of the enchantment school using a spell slot of first level or higher. You can change the spell casting time to 1 bonus action for casting, provide the spell casting time is normal than 1 action. So it's like 3 opportunities to make a spell a bonus action, essentially, to just add a little extra. And then also in her features as a paladin, I picked the protect status of like her fighting skills. So it's more about supporting people. It's more about keeping them safe over being just a heavy hitter. Nice. Let's see. With the chainmail armor, she gets a armor class of 18. Though she is very slow with a walking speed of 20.
Oh no.
But she's got, she's a little tanky, no initiative bonus, but she's got 77 hit points. So
she doesn't need to be fast. She's on a boat. Like,
she doesn't need to be fast. She's got people behind, she's got people behind her and all of that stuff. Yeah. And being on a boat. Let's see. What other fun stuff?
Any big spells you thought of for her?
Oh, there is one more thing. She also gets Voice of Authority, which is expend a spell slot of 1 level or higher. With that spell, an ally can use their reaction immediately after the spell to make 1 weapon attack against a creature of your choice. So she can kind of embolden people, make them...
It's got a little bit of like Battle Master and a little bit of like Quicken Spell. It's got like a lot of like reaching flavor.
Yeah, exactly. Just the little support. And then I also like to give as a general feature or general like feat. I like the lucky feat. I think pirates also have just a level of inherent luck, especially for somebody who lives so long. Had to have had dire straits at one point and managed to like get out of it.
Out of it, yeah.
Some stuff that like was never mentioned in history.
Yeah.
Let's see. Spells, nothing really like crazy. A lot of just like, with being a order domain cleric, you automatically get like command, heroism. Let's see what another, get something else. I think like hold person. So on top of those spells, I added like typical stuff like cure wounds, prayer healing, create or destroy water. I think is always just a good thing to have as a pirate, as well as water walk. Mm-hmm. I think that's generally just a good for being out at sea, just safety things you should have.
Yeah,
you should always have safety protocols on your boat.
Always be safe.
Always be safe. And then some just like really nice flavorful stuff. But I got a spiritual weapon, spirit guardians, which is like the ones I love to add for clerics. Clairvoyance was also a random spell I thought was pretty neat.
Kira's losing it back there.
All right, bud. It's okay.
Oh, she got the itchies.
She got the itchies.
Oh no.
You're okay. Get the blanket. It's fine. Should be
Poor
okay.
baby. Mom, I don't want a blanket right now.
She wants to destroy the blanket. Um, and I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. I also gave them blindness and deafness, which is also just one of my favorite spells to just pepper in. Um, and
Yeah, that's a
then,
good
yeah,
one.
and then Shield of Faith, Wrathful Smite were some of the paladin spells that I added to the list. Sanctuary, I thought was a really nice one. Because I feel like that would be something that she would be involved in, keeping people safe, upkeeping,
Yeah.
taking care of them. So a lot of protection spells, a lot of just like support stuff. She'd be a really nice tank support kind of character, I think.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think also as a paladin, she's immune to disease, which
Ooh,
also
helpful.
kind of
No
plays
scurvy.
into her no scurvy. No scurvy here. She's got a spell DC of 15 and 14, depending on what type of spell it is for what class. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's awesome.
It's okay, buddy.
Let's go, baby.
She'll calm down. She's also
She's
got
such a
a
good girl.
hippo. Yeah, hippo wiggles. Exactly, hippo wiggles.
Hippo wiggle.
So what did you do? What do you got?
Mine is nonsense. Mine is maybe the.
Oh, I want to know.
It's It's like, it's not a great build, but it's correct and it's fun. I made her a wizard 2, war magic wizard, and a barbarian 8 ancestral guardians.
Ooh.
Which you don't ever put barbarians and spellcaster together because they can't cast spells when they're raging. I don't care. I like it. I think it's cool. We're doing it.
Well, it's just a little whiz, just a tiny sprinkle of wizard in there.
And I started on wizard because, like, as a kid, like, as we said, she's super highly educated. She's very, very smart. And then I went to barbarian later because I like the idea of her growing up and being like, oh wait, I have this power now. Cool, let's go. So her strength turned. I put her strength at an 18, as well as her intelligence. Her dexterity and constitution are both 12. Her wisdom is 10, and her charisma is 14. I also took skill expert, which is why her dexterity got to be up there. And then her skills were history, insight, intimidation, persuasion, religion, similar to what you had. But I gave her athletics because that was mostly utility of like barbarian, but also like you have to have the athletics to like run a ship.
Yeah.
So, and because of skill expert, she also gets expertise with 1 skill, and that was what I gave it to. So it's a 12. Everything else is 8, 4, 6, regular things.
Mm-hmm.
She has all that usual wizard stuff like arcane recovery and spells.
Low hit points.
Low hit points, just little d6s.
Squishy.
Squishy
Ironically squishy.
That's why she's only 2 wizards. But for war magic, she gets Arcane Deflection, which is you've learned to weave your magic to fortify yourself against harm. If you're hit by an attack or you fail a saving throw, you can use your reaction to gain a +2 bonus to your AC against the attack, or a +4 bonus to a saving throw. And if you use this, you can't cast a spell other than a cantrip in your next turn. But if you're raging, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So if she did that, that would put her AC at 18, because casually it's 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then she also has tactical wit, which means she can give herself a bonus to her initiative that's equal to her intelligence modifier. So instead of it being a 1, which it would have been with dexterity, it's a 5 now. So she's quick, she knows what she's doing, she's smart. And then Ancestral Path Barbarian, the usual barbarians have reckless, unarmored defense, extra attack. So she gets 2 attacks, danger sense, all that good stuff. She's fast, so she has a speed of 40. Sitting on that boat. Boat zoomies.
either build, you're either gonna be super slow or you're gonna be wicked fast. Like there's no in between.
She can get across that boat like that. Like a mom pissed that you've done something wrong. She is there.
What's her ACs? Because like being a barbarian probably pads her AC a lot better because neither the wizard can wear armor.
It's a 16, so like for her being part wizard, pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But she then, because of Path of the Ancestral Guardians, so when she enters a rage, like spectral warriors appear, and when you're raging, the first creature that hits you with an attack on your turn becomes the target of those warriors, which hinders their attacks until the start of their next turn. That target has disadvantage on any attack rolls that aren't against you, and when it hits a creature that isn't you, that creature that it hits gets resistant to that kind of damage. They have resistance to damage that they would take, so that's a little bit supporty. And also, so like in certain sects of Islam, people don't really like reach back to their ancestors for like guidance or anything. So I couldn't find like what specific sect of Islam she was from. So I decided that instead of like reaching back to like ancestors themselves, she's reaching back to like past versions of herself. So like imagining like a spectral 7-year-old, like tear streaked and pissed off, fucking you up on a boat as like the older version of her wields a scimitar above. That's cool as hell to me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to like step on like cultural toes, especially when I couldn't find like specifics. So that's kind of where I leaned with that of like ancestral protector still works, but in a different special way that's really cool. She also gets Spirit Shield, which is if you're raging and a creature you can see within 38 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to reduce that damage by 2d6. So again, very like supporty, useful, like protect your crew. Yeah, super cool. She has a few spells because of those 2 levels of wizard. Message, just because that's useful on boats. And I gave her Shocking Grasp and Chill Touch because I feel like if she had to shake any Portuguese or like Spanish hands, she could just like mess them up a little bit.
Plus being a barbarian, like close quarter combat is the priority. So being able to get in close and then still be able to use some type of spell being close is also nice touch.
She has Charm Person, Unseen Servant, which I just like the idea of an unseen servant going across and fucking up a boat or like taking loot. Fog Cloud, an old family favorite, Fog Cloud.
I love the Fog Cloud. I will die using Fog Cloud. It'll be the only spell in my spell slot.
Thunderwave, because I like Thunderwave, and Thunderwave's a good spell.
Also a classic.
Jump, because I love the idea of a pirate queen casting jump on herself and then bounding between ships and just bringing down someone's head mid-range. It's all for like the cinematics of it in my head, but it works.
Yes.
And then I also gave her Expeditious Retreat, but I feel like she would not use it to retreat, but instead to close distance. Because fuck running away.
Yeah.
Never again. Anything else big and fun? I thought about giving her like Mariner's Armor, but the DC would have been, or her AC would have been lower with Mariner's Armor than it was unarmored. So, that was mostly for like water breathing and swim speed and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's really it. That's all I got for her. She's got 73 hit points, which is really good for even part wizard.
Yeah, that's like the tankiest wizard.
Yeah.
just a kiss of wizard, but like all the
like wizard, but also rage.
Yeah, but like 8 levels of barbarian back behind it.
That's the kind of wizard I will play. I'll never play a wizard unless it's a
I
tanky
might
wizard.
have to build that too because I can't also imagine being a wizard. Like, bless anybody, first of all, who
Truly.
wizards, and does it well, because that's a lot of notes.
Brainy
That's a,
motherfuckers.
that's a lot of studying.
Not for me.
I came to be a ranger.
I came to be a druid. So this tracks for us. We're here. We know what we're about.
we study.
I touched the dirt and then I got powers.
I find experience to be the best form of study. But anyway.
Well, that's about it for our girl Sayyida al-Hurra. She's super fucking cool.
So dope. So
I love her.
it was very good to learn about her and all the cool things she got to do.
I'm very happy I got to share her with all of you friends, and with you, my friend Eli. Is there anything you wanna drop, plug? This part's always weird for me because I never know how I'm supposed to say things.
Well, we got tons of stuff going on in general. Friday, we definitely are probably going to be doing something. We're probably going to hang out. We're going to
chill game night, family game night.
Shoot the shit. We'll be here. It's just Maydaying it up.
Yeah.
But we have our typical schedule. We got Aaron on Mondays at the sheep farm. We have Sergio and Starforge. Is really dope. If you haven't checked that out, it's really good. And the return of Heroes You Should Know, which is my favorite thing. I can't wait to learn more about other stuff and what everybody else gets to build on this next. I'm gonna say this is the second season of Heroes, because we've all gone through. So
Yeah, at some point I'm planning on putting together a one shot of either historical PvP or historical team up where you have to fight a Tarrasque or something. I'm not sure which one, but I think it'll be cool either way.
I'm very excited for that.
Orpheus is happening very soon. Weeks from now.
It's coming up. It's coming up fast. We have Vince from Black Project Gaming who's going to be DMing with the whole cast of Mayday. We're all going to be playing some really spooky friends.
I feel so bad for Vince when I think about this.
I do feel bad for Vince, but I feel like Vince is gonna have a lot of fun either way.
For sure. But we did that Delta Green one shot with him, and it was all 7 of us.
So he knows what he's in for. But this time we're just gonna be spooky ghosts, and we're attempting to run the whole entire modules, which is several books. So it's gonna be a very fun time to do that. And with it being September 1st, we are very close to wrapping up a Patreon campaign. We have gotten stickers, which where is it? Boom. Oh, look at that beautiful sticker. There. So good. So beautiful. If you join us on Patreon and subscribe to us, we will be giving you said sticker. We'll hand deliver it to you.
The mailbox. We'll hand deliver it to the mailbox.
In the mailbox.
I will hand deliver it to the mailbox. I'm actually really enjoying sending people stickers. It's very fun for me. It makes me really happy when it gets all right, here's this address and here's a sticker and here's a little note and here we go.
Oh yeah, we've been getting photos back from our Patreon subscribers of various all around the world getting stickers. It's really nice to see. But yeah, so if you can join us by the end of September, on September 22nd, that's the wrapping of that. And you joining us on Patreon helps us do awesome stuff like this.
Yeah.
And more. We were also anticipating our return of Doom to Repeat Arc 2, which should be coming in the upcoming fall. So keep a weather eye on that. And yeah. We'll be doing more one-shots. We'll be continuing to do our constant shenanigans as our year as 2021 is on its way out.
No, stop. No, it's not. That's not. No. I haven't processed last year. How am I supposed to catch up this year? No. Aaron agrees. No.
No. Yeah, no, I know. But yeah, what is time?
Soup.
Time is soup.
Stew. Salad. Remember that conversation we had where everything is either a salad or a sandwich? Was that it?
Either it's
I think it was everything's a salad or a sandwich, and then we decided that soup was a salad.
Yeah, soup is a salad.
Aaron stands by his staunch denial of this, and I stand by Eli's right.
Tune in on this Friday as we discuss salads and sandwiches and
Yes.
how everything is one or the other.
Gotta be.
But other than that, I think that's what
That's
all we
it.
got our hands in right now.
I just wrapped up the show perfectly. I don't need to host anymore. Like, I'm just passing it over to you. Thank you, friends, for joining us for this super nerdy show. It makes my heart so warm learning about cool new people. If you have any folks you want me to try and cover in the coming episodes, please hit me up with those suggestions in chat on Twitter, in Discord. If you're in our Patreon, hit me with those people you want me to look at. Or
send a raven if you have to.
Send a raven, a pigeon. Pigeons are but like a raven, that'd be dope. Or if you think of a different system that you'd like us to try and build these people in, I'm always down to try new things. As I said, the first time, I'm always building in D&D because that's what I'm the most comfortable with and seems to fit with like historical scenarios. But if there's someone else or some other system, I'd love to hear about it. I also just like learning about new games. So, just hang out, be chill. We're cool. I hate signing off, so I'm just gonna say, take care of yourself, friends.
Thanks
have a
for
good
joining
week.
us. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.